Hello. I am here to talk about Jane Eyre with you today. I just saw the film. If for those of you who don't know, Charlotte Bronte wrote the original novel. It's one of my favorites, so I was really excited about the film. I've seen a couple other adaptations of it. Haven't been too impressed, although I really like I think it's an early 1940s version with Elizabeth Taylor. That's pretty good, but maybe it's just the time period, but I don't really connect with that film in the way I connected with the original novel. So I was excited to see the film, feeling a little trepidation about what I might experience and if it was going to totally ruin Jane and Rochester for me, but I'm happy to report that it was a very pleasant experience. In fact, I would go so far as to say it was a perfect cinematic experience, if there is such a thing. It felt like a quintessential romantic film. So anyway, I thought I would let you know about it and 5 reasons I think you might enjoy it. Okay, first of all, it's extremely faithful to the book. If you have read the book, fear not, your beloved novel has not been tampered with. The text is all there for the most part. There are a couple little anecdotal moments, I guess, for Jane that haven't made it into this final cut, but they don't detract from the story at all. I feel like all the things that make up the story are still there. And we still have the key moments in Jane's childhood, etc. The characters haven't been messed with. They are really true to Bronte's, I feel, her original vision. And some of my favorite lines are still intact, which I was extremely happy to see. Okay, secondly, forget about Mr. Darcy, I know, blasphemy. Forget about Edward Cullen. Forget about all of those guys. Edward Rochester is the original TDB. That's tall, dark, and brooding. There's just nobody like him, and I don't know exactly what I find so attractive about Mr. Rochester, because he's really very, very flawed, and there's lots of things wrong with him. But I think I just appreciate the honesty with which he's written. He just doesn't feel very fantastic to me, and I mean fantastic as in fantasy. He's not a fantasy character, even though he kind of sweeps Jane off her feet. Spoiler alert. But just listen to this description, okay, and you tell me what you think. Okay, so this is the first time that Jane sees Mr. Rochester. Bronte writes, "Something of daylight still lingered, and the moon was waxing bright. I could see him plainly. His figure was enveloped in a riding cloak, fur-collared and steel-clasped. Its details were not apparent, but I traced the general points of middle height and considerable breadth of chest. He had a dark face, with stern features and a heavy brow. His eyes and gathered eyebrows looked ireful and thwarted just now, naturally. He was past youth, but had not reached middle age. Perhaps he might be 35. I felt no fear of him, and but little shyness. Had he been a handsome, heroic-looking gentleman, I should not have dared to stand thus, questioning him against his will, and offering my services unasked. I had hardly ever seen a handsome youth, never in my life spoken to one. I had a theoretical reverence, an homage for beauty, elegance, gallantry, fascination. But had I met those qualities incarnate in masculine shape, I should have known instinctively that they neither had nor could have sympathy with anything in me, and should have shunned them as one would fire, lightning, or anything else that is bright but antipathetic. I do think Jane's being a little bit hard on herself. I mean, obviously, Mr. Rochester finds her attractive, so anyway, I kind of like that about her, though, that she doesn't think she's all that. Oh, and of course, third reason that you should see this film is the excellent acting. It's a primarily unknown cast. There are a few actors that are more well known in the UK. Of course, Judi Dench is in the film and she's excellent. But overall, a fresher faced cast, and I think that was the right direction to go with this film. Also, beautiful score, fantastic scenery, costuming. I mean, it was just really impeccable. Beautiful quality of a film. The fourth reason to see this film is that it's a great date flick. I'd recommend it for a night out with your girlfriends. It's a great fodder for conversation. I also think it would be a great film for couples to see. Lots of stuff to talk about and compare experiences in terms of reading the book and seeing the film. It's really romantic. It's kind of epic and sweeping. It's a great picture, and it has some creepy parts in it too. So it's good for snuggling and watching the film like this, which is what I did. No joke. I went to see it by myself because Kyle couldn't come with me. So yeah, I was kind of freaked out, especially because I'd read the book, so I knew about all the creepy parts and I sort of anticipated them. It's not scary though or anything like that. It's just good and gothic-y. And the final reason to go see this film is just to see a powerful woman on screen. Jane Eyre is a powerful character, a character we can admire, we can get behind. There's just so much to admire about her. Yeah, I could say a lot more than that, but that's really the gist of how I feel about Jane. She's a great character, and she's worth admiring. I want to just close briefly with a description from Jane, and this is just so, I don't know, so Mr. Rochester. Well, if I can find it. He's talking about missing her, and he writes, "Who can tell what a dark, dreary, hopeless life I have dragged on for months past, doing nothing, expecting nothing, merging night and day, feeling but the sensation of cold when I let the fire go out, of hunger when I forgot to eat, and then a ceaseless sorrow, and at times a very delirium of desire to behold my Jane again." They just don't write them like that anymore, you know? Read the book. There it is. Read the book. Go see the movie. It's an independent film. Might be a little hard to find in a mainstream theater, although I did find an AMC playing it. But I encourage you to make the extra effort to go see it. You'll really, really enjoy it. I promise. Okay, this is Elizabeth saying until next time, keep reading and keep watching.